Okay, so since we know how to work a single crochet into the foundation chain and we know how to do a chain and a single crochet, we're just going to do a little video on practicing working our single crochet. And of course, we're going to have more videos that talks about the different crochet hooks, the different types of yarn, and all that. But just for the time being, we're just going to practice working a single crochet. So just use any type of yarn that you want, any crochet hook, because I know a lot of you just want to get right into it and learn that stitch. So for today, I'm going to be using Big Twist textile. It's a cotton and polyamide blend, and it's from Joann's, and I think it's a discontinued yarn, but the reason I'm using this is because it's nice and thick and it's easier for you guys to be able to see the stitches. And if we look at the label here, and I'll show you this label and explain this label, and we'll talk more in detail about all the labels and stuff at a different video. But if we're looking at this little label here, this is nice. Not all labels show you this, but this one here in particular is telling you that if you were to make a blanket, you would need 5 skeins of this to make a blanket, 5 skeins to make a sweater. You would only need 1 skein to make a hat and 3 skeins to make a scarf, which is pretty cool that it tells you that. And of course, that's based on your tension and your gauge. And this is also telling you right here that this is a super bulky yarn weight. So it's a number 6. So you'll notice that like an acrylic worsted weight yarn is a size 4, which is our normal yarn that a lot of people usually work with. This is a super bulky number 6. And I'm using that because once again, it's a nice big thick yarn to be able to show you the stitches better. And then over here, every yarn label recommends a crochet hook size for you on what you should be using for that yarn type. So this is telling me that I should use a US L, an 11, or an 8mm crochet hook. And this is also telling me that I should do a swatch, a 4x4 swatch of 9 single crochets, so a row of 9, and then do 10 total rows, and it should be a 4x4 square. And then this here, if you were knitting, this tells you what size knitting needles, and the same thing for a swatch. So if you did 10 rows of 9 single crochet, it should turn out to be a 4x4 swatch. And then down here is telling you, and not all labels tell you this information here, some just give you the little pictures. This is telling you that it's machine washable. This is telling you to iron low. It's on a low iron. This is telling you not to bleach, so do not bleach. This is telling you that you can dry clean it. And this is telling you not to tumble dry, so do not tumble dry. So whatever you decide to make, this is telling you the care instructions for that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to practice single crocheting. So I already did 1 row. I am using a 7.0mm crochet hook, so it's in between a J and K. And this is a Yarnology luxury crochet hook from Hobby Lobby. It's my favorite. I also love Tulips, the brand Tulip, but this is a nice crochet hook. So I'm at the end of this first row. So remember, we're going to turn our work. We're going to chain 1. That chain 1 is just our turning chain, so it does not count as a stitch. Remember, the loop on our hook does not count as a stitch either. And now we want to work a single crochet into that first stitch. And remember, when we're working our first row after we do our foundation row, we're always going to be working underneath both loops unless the pattern states otherwise. So go ahead, insert your crochet hook underneath both of those loops, yarn over, bring that yarn through those loops, underneath those loops, and up. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again and go through both of those loops, and that's your single crochet. So again, insert your hook underneath both loops, yarn over, bring that through and up. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through both loops. And again, insert your hook into the next stitch under both loops, yarn over, bring that yarn through and up. 2 loops are on your hook, yarn over and go through both of those loops. And these are our single crochets. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, bring that through and up, yarn over and go through both of those loops. And again, insert your hook, yarn over, bring that through and up, yarn over and go through both loops. And again, insert your hook, yarn over, bring that through and up, yarn over and go through both loops. Again, insert your hook, yarn over, bring that yarn through and up, yarn over and go through both loops. Insert your hook, yarn over, bring that through and up, yarn over and go through both loops. And again, yarn over, bring that yarn through and up, yarn over and go through both loops. If you're not sure if you have a stitch, remember if you look at the top there, you can see right here you have that vertical bar and there's a stitch right next to it, so you know you have 1 stitch left to do. So insert your hook, yarn over, bring that yarn through and up, yarn over and go through both of those loops. And there's our second row. Turn your work, chain 1, that's your turning chain, and that just turns it so you can start your new row. The loop on your hook does not count, your turning chain does not count, and there's your first stitch. So you're going to insert your hook into that first stitch and work your single crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, bring it through and up, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through both loops. And again, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, bring it through and up, yarn over, go through both loops. Insert your hook, yarn over, bring it through and up, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through both loops. And again, and the last few we'll do nice and close up for you. So there's our next stitch. We're inserting our hook, and you'll see we're going under both loops. We're yarning over, bringing that yarn through and up, and now we're yarning over again and going through both of those loops. And there's our single crochet. And again, inserting our hook into the next stitch, and you see it's going under both loops. We're going to yarn over, bring that yarn through and up. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again and go through both of those loops. And that's your single crochet. There's our next one. Insert your hook. You're going underneath both loops. Yarn over, bring that yarn through that stitch and up. You have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through both of those loops. And again, insert your hook under both loops, yarn over, bring that yarn through and up, yarn over again, and bring that yarn through both loops. And now we're right at the end again, and there's that vertical bar, so that lets me know I still have a stitch right here that needs to be worked. And you can also use a stitch marker if you need to. Inserting my hook, yarning over, bringing that yarn through and up, yarning over and going through both loops. And there's our single crochets. And just keep practicing that until you get very comfortable working your single crochets in a row. Don't forget to chain one at the end of each row, and if it helps you, you can use a stitch marker for your first and last row. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more.